Welcome to Playing Every Final Fantasy Kinda Gaiden, a vlog series covering spin-offs, alternate versions, and anything that does not fit into the format of the main show. Today we are talking about Final Fantasy IV on the Super Nintendo, specifically the FF2 US version. Today I am drinking Sapporo. Is it obvious enough yet that these are being recorded in a batch? The facial hair probably gives it away, but you know. The big takeaway. It does not matter that this is the worst version of Final Fantasy IV. The magic cannot be ruined. God, this game is so pretty. Yes, the overworld still feels like an NES Plus level of graphics, but the spell effects and the combat UI being 60 frames per second is so crisp. My God, the pixel art for some of these big monsters, it's so impressive compared to what the last game in the series was. The jump between Final Fantasy III to Final Fantasy IV is monstrous in terms of just how good these baddies look. When a background parallaxes, it hits like a fucking truck. It's so cool. The music, dude. The fucking music in this game. It sounds perfect on the SNES chip. And this is a really, really, really early SNES chip, you know, the SFC 1000 or whatever. They are nowhere near what they can do on the Super Nintendo yet, and it still sounds fucking crazy. There's no longer a bulk purchasing discount, but this is the first time where you can set a custom bulk purchase amount the way you can in most games, where you're just like, I'm not going to sit here and manually buy 99 potions. I'm just going to select, I'm just going to like 99 potions that way. I will say, the translation for this game is scuffed as fuck. You can still mostly understand the beats, but there's a lot that is missing. Yang has his like karate scream translated as achoo. It's supposed to probably be, it has to be something like achoo, but like it every time you see it, it's like, oh, you're sneezing. Gesundheit. Death/KO status is called swoon for some reason. That feels like a gigantic overcorrection from Nintendo of America and maybe some awful translation work as well. This version of the game is kind of easier, but like easier as in ease of use and not always easier as in baby easy. It's not that you one-hit everything in this game, nor do enemies have pillow hands, but it feels like there's a lot more early on specifically that you can just ignore. Like, black magic straight up kind of sucks again. Rarely did it feel like it was pulling its weight with physical attacks. It feels like, again, the game is kind of meant to be like, press the attack button to do the attack. Ooh, look at me go. I'm gonna swing my fucking sword. Items in this game are dirt cheap, other than ethers, which are crazy expensive. This is really weird. It's not exactly a bad thing, but it's just like the disparity between the two of them. So crazy once you see the price changes. Arrows are a specific quantity item again, much like Final Fantasy III Famicom. And it feels like this is being used in the FF2 US version to shore up a lot of treasure boxes, because normally it feels like there should be items in there that aren't in this game. Like, there's a lot of items that aren't here, the way that like FF2 and FF3 have all those like, here's your every character has slow item. That's just not in FF4. And item chests, where that should be, feels like, oh, thank God, we can put 10 holy arrows here instead. But once you get to the sealed cave, the game's difficulty kicks all the way back in. Now you're playing for real. The gloves are off. The baby early stuff, like, that's done. You're now playing Final Fantasy IV as fucking Final Fantasy IV. The sealed cave is actually harder in FF2 US than I found it to be in Pixel Remaster. Those trap doors that I blazed through in Pixel Remaster, they almost always got off a kill on someone in FF2 US. Maybe I was a little bit underleveled, but damn, it was actually significantly more difficult. In fact, I'd say some of the later bosses, like the 4 elemental fights, or that like CPU boss fight at the Tower of Babel, are just straight up harder than Pixel Remaster. the lack of an ATB bar is a little funky. It makes more of a difference than you would think. You don't have time to prepare for who's coming up next. You're just like, ready, go, ready, snap. You're not able to plan as much as a ATB bar would let you. You have to just have like the ball is snapped and you have to go as soon as it shows up. Which is funny because that ties into the fact that this is the fastest JRPG in the Wild Wild West. This game moves and grooves and goes at a breakneck pace, which is a good thing because, oh my god, it's just, this game never lets up. It's so fast and furious. It's just killer all the time, all killer, no filler. It's paced like a fucking greased rail. The Lunar Subterrane might be the last quarter of the game by volume, maybe more, but it still rules, so who am I to complain? Maybe that's because on this run of the game, I didn't do any of the side quests. I'd already done them on Pixel Remaster. I was just kind of like eyes on the prize, and maybe I ended up being a little under-leveled for that, but damn, it's just like, this game hits like a truck. It just goes completely breakneck pace. There's never a downtime. There's never a moment of lull. Even with all its compromised aspects, and which there are many for this North American version, the game is just fucking cool. Like, it's just a fucking cool game. The big events to this game, like the Rubicante fight, they still come across in ways that would be instantly iconic. Even if you're playing the worst version of this game, which you are if you're playing FF2 US, when you see Rubicante show up and you hear Battle of the Four Fiends start, you're like, oh, fuck, let's go! Ah, this is crazy. Like, it's such a powerful, like, evocative, like, bam, bam, bam. It just never lets up. It's so great at every moment. I was saying, this is like Kingdom Hearts or Monster Jam. It's something that feels particularly made to sandblast a 6-year-old's brain and permanently change them forever. Like, a young kid playing this would think this is the greatest shit ever. My son is going to be playing Final Fantasy IV if my parenting has anything to do about it. The bones of FF4 are so good that you can't make this game bad. Like, this is obviously so compromised, but it's still a fucking blast to play. It's so much fun. You can't erode away how cool the base elements of Final Fantasy IV are. Still, that said, I don't think there's anything here that means you should go out of your way to play FF2 US or play it over Pixel Remaster. For any reasons other than historical context, I guess. Or if you really want that shit to go like fast. But then again, I think this run I had was only like 2 hours and change shorter than my Pixel Remaster version. It's, regardless which way you play, this game's blazing. And God bless it, it's so cool for that. This is still, even on this version, one of my favorite FFs and one of my favorite games ever now. I love Final Fantasy IV. I've seen it at its best, I've seen it at its worst, and when we get to that point in the timeline, I'm somewhat excited to play the 3D remake versions of it. As always, be good to each other, explore your creativity, and I'll see you next time.